Of course, it wouldn't be a video by me without any technical difficulties, so it just cancelled off at the end. Let me just explain the main task to you so you've got an idea. Right, so thinking about all those key words I've taught you, I want you to go and find a radio piece, and I want you to identify what keywords are used within it, okay? Explain and identify those codes and conventions. Were there particular moments where certain sound elements really affected the piece? Then you've got the stretch and challenge task over here, which I've already explained. But what I'm going to do now is just go back to the slide with the codes and conventions. And what I'm going to do, I've already played you a drama. I'm just going to play you a little bit of a lifestyle show and a bit of a documentary. I'm sure you can go and listen to Newsbeat on Radio 1 or 1Extra in your own time. I'm sure you've listened to lots of news all the time, especially over the last recent weeks. So we're just going to listen to the first few minutes of a documentary and a lifestyle show just to give you a little bit of flavour about that, okay? So if I just go to... So this is a lifestyle show. It is part of a series called This Game Changed My Life. And this is a lifestyle show which has got an interview with Charlie Brooker, who wrote Black Mirror. There is a bit of swearing in it. So think about what different keywords and conventions that you identify here.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Hello, I'm Charlie Brooker, and video games changed my life. Apparently.
I'm Aoife Wilson.
And I'm Julia Hardy.
Welcome to This Game Changed My Life, a podcast about true stories and video games. This week, Jules, we're only talking to Charlie Brooker.
Oh my God.
Just to warn you, there is quite a lot of swearing in this episode. Enjoy.
Charlie, it
Yes.
is a supreme pleasure to have you on This Game Changed My Life because, I mean, you are so synonymous with games. Did you ever think that would be how you'd be described?
No. I probably didn't think I'd be described. I mean, that's weird, isn't it? Apart from being described by a teacher if you've gone missing. I'll keep it light. I was always into games and things. I remember from my first encounters with video games were arcade machines, and I remember being spellbound by the notion that here was a television, which was a thing I liked, but you could control it. It literally had a stick and some buttons attached to it, and when you moved the stick and pressed the buttons, things happened on the magic telly.
Okay, so we heard from that, there's presenters, which we know are codes and conventions. There was someone that they were interviewing on the panel, which is Charlie Brooker, the celebrity. There was a theme, which they were talking about video games. And there's also a theme song, which we don't always hear in lifestyle shows, but it was really nice. And at the beginning, it was like a jingle, wasn't it? And showing us what we were listening to. So that's good. Now let's listen to let me go over to my sounds, a documentary and how that's presented.
Tupac Shakur was a rapper who died almost 20 years ago, yet he remains one of the best-selling hip-hop artists. He was a controversial figure, a savior to some, a menace to others, and now he's set to be honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. American poet and playwright Al Letson asks, why does Tupac Shakur still resonate with so many people across the world?
So that was the voiceover.
10 years ago, I was a struggling playwright, writing bad play after bad play, until I finally got it right. And that play was called Griot, He Who Speaks the Sweet Word. It was a collection of African-American characters, some recognizable, some unknown, but all struggling to find their way. And that play was first performed here in Baltimore, on the East Coast of America. And while Baltimore is not known as a bastion of artistic creation, it's played a vital role for many black performers, including a modern-day black revolutionary.
The person I'm going to talk about next, Brother Tupac Shakur.
So sound bridge and sound bites. Now music bridge.
Aren't they wondering why death rates are going up and suicide is going up? More kids are being handed crack than they're being handed diplomas. I think that rich people should live like poor people and poor people should live like rich people. And it should change every week. And we'll have the best rounded people. And that's how society is built. The upper class run it while we talk about it.
Tupac Amaru Shakur. Poet, rapper, revolutionary. He was born into struggle. A fight for young black America. It was a battle that ended in his death in 1996 at age 26.
I think more than perhaps any other hip-hop artist, the depth of the emotion that people feel for Tupac is really breathtaking. He was not just an MC, but he was a poet. He was attentive to the interior life. He talked about anguish and confusion and frustration and fear and loss, but also love.
Tupac has become another archetypal figure in the pantheon of African-American folk heroes.
Whatever you want to see with Tupac, you will see with Tupac. He's complicated. That's why he's still interesting, because if he was simple, you could be like, well, I could explain it to him in 2 sentences.
Music Bridge.
Tupac is the quintessential falling star that only lit the night for a brief period of time but burned like a supernova. In just 5 short years, he released 6 albums, acted in 6 movies, wrote hundreds of poems and lyrics, and sold records in the tens of millions, and continues to do so. And to me, like many people, Tupac was an enigma. I loved his thought-provoking prose, his swagger, but sometimes his street influences turned me off. I mean, from a distance, you could never tell what Tupac you were going to get, the thoughtful poet or the thug life gangster. Tupac spoke for poor people all over the world, was sought by the police several times, including a jail stint for one, and at the height of his fame, received letters from the likes of Jim Carrey, Mickey Rourke, and Tony Danza.
Now, I'm a note writer. I like to write notes to people because you know why?
Okay, so you can hear the difference between the initial lifestyle show and a pre-recorded show, which is a documentary with edited clips put together. It's just a slightly different way of framing it. So as I said, it could be a documentary you looked at. You could look at a lifestyle show. There's loads on BBC Sounds if you want to go on that. It might ask you to register, and don't panic about that. It's free to register. You can use your school email or any other email. And yes, say that you do have a TV licence, even if you're not paying for it, say your parents are, then you can access all of those BBC Sounds stuff. Have a listen to a couple of radio pieces. Go and look on Spotify if you want to, and just make sure that you know exactly what you're going to be writing about and getting that on your blog. So that's what you need to do this week. On Thursday, I'll just do a little extra 5 minutes or so and put that up. But that's for today. All right. Have a lovely few days, and I'll catch up with you soon. Of course, ask any questions if you've got anything. All right. Bye.